Hey, everybody. Welcome to day 176 of Reseller Reflections, a day in the life of a full-time reseller supporting her family. It is Sunday, December 1st, 2024. Welcome to December. All right. Hopefully, we had a chance to look at November today. If not, we're looking in the rearview mirror, figuring out what worked, what didn't work. If we have a yearly goal, figuring out how much we have to do in this last month. I know that's what I did today. Last week, we did not meet our weekly sales goal. It was a fairly low week for us, but it is what it is. The month came out pretty well, but yeah, last week not good. However, today we did meet our sales goal, and it has been the first day in a while we've met it. So that was kind of exciting, and thrilled about that. Got up today. It was Sunday, but I did the shipping anyway. I made this beautiful stack of packages. I was excited for every item that I shipped out today. I had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, this new attitude is really working for me, being grateful for the sales I have and enjoying shipping them. I put on a little Lizzo when I ship, and that kind of gets me pumped up to do the shipping. I I enjoy it, a little bit of music, make it fun for myself, and just be where my feet are in the shipping, not worrying about the 30 other things I need to do. I did want to do 2 hours of listing today. I almost have an hour in. I'm going to finish that up before we go to our reseller reset. And I'll have to squeeze an hour in tomorrow because tomorrow I have plans and I didn't necessarily want to do any listing, but that's okay. There were things that needed to be done today and I did them. Sunday is an accounting day where I look at the numbers. Just happens, it doesn't usually follow the last day of the month is on a Sunday when I'm doing the accounting. So it was kind of cool to look back at the month and do all those things. My accounting process is pretty lean. I don't track a whole lot of things. I track what's important to me. If you're part of our Patreon mastermind, you know that not a detail person. And one of the things we do stress is to track what you are comfortable with and what you are required to track, which is surprisingly, when you're doing your taxes and meet with your accountant, probably not as much detail as you think. So I don't know, something to think about. We'll talk about that at a way later date. But yeah, I have really simplified what I do on a weekly basis and my payouts and what I track. So it takes me, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes every week to wrap up the week. And I know it takes some people a lot more, and a lot more people are very comfortable with the details, and that I understand too. But the moral of the story is track what you're comfortable with and what is important to you and what you're required to track. Again, which isn't a whole lot. Okay, guys. I am reset to zero. The shipping is done, and joining me on the Reset to Zero challenge. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why this challenge is so incredibly important. But first, Jill of Rusty Truck Relics, Jason the Santee Swapper, Char Fabulous Flamingos, Kathy Singz, Nick Mr. C Chats, Vanessa, the Diabetic Reseller, Brightest Holidays, Judith R, Pam of Whimsy and Such, Carmen of Northern Bargains, Becky of Becky Consigns, Lee of Lee Phillips 4191. All right, guys, good job. It is these small little activities that we do every day that put us on an upward trajectory to success. And that is where the slight edge comes in. Jeff Olson's The Slight Edge. We do this in the C Chats book club at the beginning of every year. First quarter, we will be starting in January. Join us. Do you have to be a reseller to join? No, there are people that are not in the reselling space that utilize this book club. We have a lot of small business owners, all sorts of people. You do not need to be a reseller. We do talk a lot about reselling. It is reselling adjacent. But you do not need to be a reseller. You can be in any field. If you have somebody that you think might benefit from this, have them join us. Send them the link. It's always linked up in the show notes. You can get it at consignmentchats.com. But it is life changing, and it's all about those little things. Okay, so coming up into January. In December, we do a lot of goal setting, talking about our goals for the coming year. So we'll be prepping for 2025 pretty heavily, talking about goals, making our goals. And one of the things that we continually focus on, and this happens almost weekly in Mastermind, where somebody sets an unrealistic goal or they set the bar too high. And I am linking up a video. It is the Joe Rogan Experience. Jordan Peterson is on there, and he's talking about the um, the benefits of setting the bar low. Use the link I'm putting in the show notes because it is like a 3-hour long video. And what I'm talking about takes you right to this topic. It's about 5-10 minutes tops. You can listen and kind of get the feel for what he's talking about. So we set these crazy goals sometimes, and our mastermind is so good. We talk each other back and down to reality. And there is really an importance of setting goals. And we talked about, I'll link this up too, starting where you are. The importance of starting where you are and just setting the bar within your ability. We all know the negative of what happens when we set the bar too high. We don't get there. We get discouraged. We lose motivation. Sometimes this is a result of comparing ourselves to other people and, another person that's on a different journey, at a different place, in a different chapter. And it's really, really detrimental. So we really need to think about starting where we are and setting the bar. So yeah, we have to push ourselves. I'm not saying set yourself set the bar so low you don't have to push yourself. No, you're going to set it, but it has to be a realistic goal. So what happens when, and I love the way Jordan Peterson talks about this in the video. Very simple, much more eloquent than I'm explaining it. But we need to really think about starting where we are and just what do we need to do to push ourselves little bit? If we want to set lofty goals, so this is what we do in our mastermind. Let's say you have a lofty goal. And we're like, whoa. Like that's not realistic. Why do you think that's realistic? What's going to happen? Set yourself something that you can achieve. If you feel like you really want to push yourself, fine. Set yourself an achievable goal. And then we do what's called your stretch goal. Maybe that is, a little bit further. And then you can have another one, a wow goal. That is just like, maybe that's your initial that you don't think you can get there goal. But you need to set the bar so low enough so that you can achieve that. And one of the things that Jordan Peterson also talks about is having the humility to start where you are. And he uses an example about going into the gym and, starting where he was and how humiliating it was, surrounded by all these people that were bench pressing like enormous weights. And he had to start where he was, and it was very humbling. But, those small daily things that he did got him to where he wanted. But it took a little bit of humility and humiliation in the beginning. So I could equate that to the journey I was on last year. I talked about that my slight edge goal was to move 5 minutes a day. And I have a whole list of things that I started with 5 minutes a day on. Was it humiliating? Did I have to kind of humble myself? Yeah. I wanted to say, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and, walk 5 miles a day. but that wasn't where I was. And if I had done that, I would have been setting myself up for failure. But what happened was I set myself up for success. And those small daily actions put you on the upward trajectory um, to get where you want to be. But yeah, sometimes it's not easy to scale back. Sometimes it's really not easy if you're comparing yourself to other people. Sometimes it's not easy when you're in a group. Let's say, a mastermind group, or whoever your group of people that you trust and you confide in, to put it out there. Like if you're a reseller and you say, I really want to do one listing a day, and other people are doing like 50, 60. Yeah, you do have to humble yourself and practice a little humility and say, but that's where I am right now. But compound it over time. That one a day is going to get you where you want to go. And just doing it consistently builds momentum. So many good things about that. All right. So anyway, those are the thoughts on setting the bar. Hopefully it helps as we prepare for the new year. And yeah, the one thing I do want to mention is I didn't know this. So if you read the Bible or the New Testament, Matthew 25:29, it's called the Matthew effect. And it's pretty much the slight edge. All right. Those who begin with an advantage accumulate more advantage over time. And those who begin with a disadvantage become more disadvantaged over time. The result is ever widening differences between the advantaged and the disadvantaged. And in the slight edge, they talk about like how the effects are compound, like those small daily disciplines is what they call them in the slight edge. But really it is the Matthew effect from the New Testament. They use this in economics and there's all sorts of applications for it. But the small daily positive actions take you and they're compounded over time. The negative actions do the same thing and they're also compounded over time. All right, guys. So just a little bit to think about when we go into 2025 and you're ready to set your goals. So let's practice a little humility. Let's get ready to set some realistic goals and start where we are. All right. I will see you on day 177. Thank you guys so much for spending the evening with me, and night night.